Hello, everybody. This is the African Actions Network. I am James Jensen, sitting this moment to cross our eyes on some of the issues that are unfolding in Liberia. Particularly, we want to talk a little bit about the arrest trial of the former Chief Justice of Liberia, Councillor Gloria Musu Scout. Councillor Scout has been arrested. She's behind bars, and she and others are expected to face trial following allegation that she and others allegedly are responsible for the death of Charloe Musu, or they killed Charloe Musu. With such a grave allegation, such an important concern, we will keep looking at the issues until the country, the state, the government of Liberia can prove the contrary, or can prove uh, with certainty, can prove beyond reasonable doubt that the persons alleged to have killed Charlotte Musu were indeed the doer of the act. What is it that we want to talk about? Um, this matter is in court, but as far as information are out there, as far as the facts are concerned, we can keep discussing these matters until this case, the trial, come to a conclusion. Our discussions are in no way making determination as to who actually killed Charlotte Musu. I say that because most of the time, even people, when you call them to discuss issue, there is a general feeling, there's a general thought that when matters are before court, it cannot be discussed. That's what, quote unquote, others will say. In the same vein, we also are cognizant about cases going to court and what people should do so that they cannot prejudice the case. They cannot say things so that the facts that will go to court, things said also will run contrary from what the court will be looking into. Having said that, it's also important that we get to know that those who are lawyers in the case should know the facts to present to court. Is now every hearsay or everything the public discusses are issues that go before the court. So the public discussion, the public opinion is something that we want to look at, or the thing that's happened. What has happened? A Liberian has been killed. Who is the Liberian? It's Charlotte Musu. Who is she? She's one of the daughters of Gloria Musu Scout, the former Chief Justice of Liberia. Why was she killed? Who killed her? Are the issues that the court will determine who killed this girl. I think that's a singular issue that might be the issue before the court to determine. But there are some things we want to say as a group of persons or as someone who has interest in a free, fair, and transparent trial. A Girl Scout is not above the law. Okay? She's not above the law. So the government or the security apparatus of the government has acted. They have arrested Gloria Musu Scout, the former Chief Justice. They have placed her behind bars on condition that the offense, the crime allegedly committed, is not bailable. I would have had a different thought about it. And let me put them on view. And now, don't get me wrong. I know some will want to criticize, some of them want to say some other stuff. But I'm concerned about Gloria Scout. Now, let me say this first. The justice system is good. It's established. You have lawyers are going to represent the parties. You have the judge, and all of the procedural steps are going to go on. But when Groska was arrested, she was released the first night. She did not spend time behind bars. She was not placed behind bars. So until the next day, and in fact, there were publications, there were media report of concern while Groska was in fact released and not detained the very time. And I have been crossing my eyes on that. And I was trying to look at the issue that had to do with the US former president Donald Trump when he was arraigned in court recently. His charge was not on the basis of murder, but it was concerning espionage, and that's a very serious issue under the United States law. So, howbeit, in fact, there was a speculation before the date of Donald Trump arrangement, and there were many who felt that he would have been detained, and not only that, he would have been jailed, so to speak. But that was not the case. He was allowed to be out and face his trial. Okay. And we cannot sit and think and don't think out of the box, because whatever that is happening now is a set of precedent, or precedent, if you wish to say. And that action will live with Liberia for a long period of time. So a high profile person, that is my opinion. Don't ask me whether that I want a lawsuit or not. But my opinion is that when people are in high places, personality, the primary purpose for the arrest, for the charge, and for the trial is to ensure that justice in the truest sense prevails, that whoever committed the act, those who have been arrested, they are not yet found guilty. They are not guilty of the crime, but it's an allegation that they killed Charloe Musu. So, Gloria Scouts, even if she goes behind bars or she's held on house arrest, or she is allowed on bail or on bond, I was looking at the primary purpose of a bill or a bond is only to secure the release of a person on trust that this person can appear in court whenever the court request or the court desire her to be in court for continuation of the trial. If she is a flat rate, someone who will run away from the country at the time when a court is in need of her to face trial, if there are reasons to believe that she would have escaped, she would have run away, so to speak, out of Liberia, that would have been a critical issue. Now, why am I raising this thing? Because I believe that the primary reason for the statute is that the statute must be interpreted. The interpretation of the letter of the law matters. So we say, well, this is not a bailable offense. So the former Chief Justice will be treated like many others. But there are distinctions. The former Chief Justice, and let's say, for example, James Johnson, There are times people look at these issues and be able to make a decision as to what can be done in this case, not to give preferential treatment to individuals, but to also realize, because, for example, I was telling myself, why if someone like George Weah, there's an allegation, not saying that he committed, but what if there's an allegation against someone like a former president, like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, or quote unquote, maybe in the future, George Weah. Now, this is the complexity of Liberia situation. As long as situation is not facing them, or is not facing people within their sphere or within their group, they will say all they want to say. All right. But I feel like, for example, if and only if Ellen Johnson Sirleaf would have seen herself in a situation like Gloria Musu's scout on the basis of allegation, some of those who are talking now that, hey, this is not a billable offense, will be advocating, no, this is a former president, this is a, so that would be, that is the complexity of Liberia situation. People don't go after issues and wanting to know what is it. What can we do today that will represent tomorrow, that will forever be what we are advocating for. So these are the situations. Gloria now is behind bars. Does that mean that she will not appear in court? She definitely will appear in court. What is the difference if Gloria would have been held on a house arrest? That's my term. This is not about the law. This is my view and my injection into this matter as to what a judge would probably do. Or what if a judge would have said, well, with all of the five circumstances before me and the personality before me, I would have allowed, or I will allow, assuming that somebody is sitting as a judge, I would allow Madam former Chief Justice, you are before me, and the law is this is not a billable offense. This is murder. But I would interpret the law to mean that you cannot run away from this country, from this trial. You cannot commit similar crime amidst the allegation, because there are two reasons why bill or bond, I placed. I There's always a fear that this individual will run away. So because of that, he must put other a property value in place that will make, even if he run away, he will be thinking, oh no, how to go back. Right? Better still, that fear, like, okay, somebody will say, okay, since they came into jail already, I think I'm just going to do the worst of it. In the case of a murder, somebody say, okay, I'm just going to do worse than whatever is like, whatever happened, let it happen. So when people I believed to be of that kind, then definitely either you can say, okay, we're going to keep you behind bars, and the police will go for you, or the security will go for you doing trial, bring you to court, doing every time, and then carry you back. Right? What is wrong if that was to have been the case? Girl Scouts stay to her house. There are security persons that man in her house and make sure she doesn't go out without the consent of the police. There are reasons why people become permanent citizens or eminent citizens. So these are some of the things we try to look at. But let's go beyond that. All right, Groska has been arrested. She's in jail, and she's supposed to be tried. We think at this time there must be a speedy trial. There must be a free, fair, transparent trial. The government must have all evidence, best evidence, not just Flaka J evidence. I mean, evidence that will speak to those persons committing the crime. What are some of the things I probably would be looking up to? They ask really the physical proof, the physical evidence that will be of no doubt, that will point strictly to Gloria's card of killing this girl, the obligation is on the government. Now, this is not a law issue or say law issue. This is not something to say where it cannot be discussed. These are factual situations we discuss around. Whether we say or not, the obligation is on the government to produce that evidence, that best evidence that will directly link those persons of murdering Charloe Musu. What are some of the things we probably want to see? Well, for us as persons, we want to see, okay, did she use a knife? The question will ask, did Gloria Scott use a knife to stab this girl? That would be the physical thing we want to see, right? Or not mean the judge will want to see, the jury will want to see. Does she use, how you call it, steel raw? What does she use in killing this girl? The obligation is on the government, and we think the court, the jury, they will make determination of whatever the government will present to say, yeah, this element of the law is indeed fulfilled, is certified, is real, that this instrument was used to kill this guy. And the government has proved beyond all reasonable doubt that indeed, at this time, at this period, this person or those persons acted to kill this girl. So the obligation is on the government, all right? And the mess here, normally people kill with intention. I'm going to kill this person because they stole my shoe. And probably I'm texting somebody, say, well, man, look, you know what? Somebody came in and stole my shoe, and John Brown. I'm going to kill John Brown. I plan with purpose, with an intention. I'm going to kill somebody. So the obligation is on the government to also prove that Gloria Scout and others purposefully planned and executed the killing of Charloe Musu. It's not about us that discussing this matter, but it's about the legal system. The truthfulness of the matter must be proved in the court of law. The allegation levied against those persons, the government is under obligation to prove. Now, we cannot sit and say the government doesn't have evidence. If the government never had evidence, they wouldn't have charged these people. So the government, as we speak, the allegation being levied, it is on the hope that they will provide a high look, the legal community are supporting. I do not think anybody, I saw a list of lawyers, I do not think any of these lawyers will back Gloria's car if indeed she truly killed this child. And when the evidence is adduced, provided, and the jurors sit on it and agree and see the evidence and say, indeed, Gloria's car killed this girl, without these funny things that sometimes happen in the Liberian community, free, fair, transparent, submit cogent evidence. I think the crux of the matter is even people in the legal community want to see or want to know who actually killed this girl. The primary purpose of the law is not to suffer an innocent person while the doer is let go, let free. No lawyer will want to see that. And this is where people begin to talk. And the reason why we are talking is because we want to challenge the government to present that evidence that even those lawyers of the government, they know within themselves what it would mean to allegedly say somebody committed a crime, and when you find that person did not actually commit a crime. The primary duty of lawyering is to, especially in the case of criminal cases, is never ever to allow someone who is innocent to be punished unjustly. Do not allow, let us assume, now I'm not discussing the merit and the demerit of this case, but let us assume Gloria did not commit this case, did not kill this guy. The sentence for murder is life imprisonment. So let us assume that she did not commit this crime. Nobody would think that any innocent person, not just Gloria, but any innocent person that did not commit such a crime will suffer unjustly, will go to jail for the rest of their life, and will die and rot in jail when in fact they know nothing about the killing. And this is where we speak. This is the ground on which we stand. But let's flip the coin. Why if Gloria acted willfully with an intention to kill this guy? When the evidence are presented and questions are asked, and the jurors believe with certainty that Gloria killed, of course, why not? Gloria should spend the rest of her life in jail. That's the purpose of the law. But do not jail her on the basis of flimsy evidence, or evidence that is not probative enough. Evidence that people say, that the evidence there said. It must be glaring. It must be real. It must be, somebody say, well, that night she held the girl. There's a videotape. Let's say, for example, why if the government had a videotape of, somebody, not just Gloria, but let's say in a criminal trial, right? Somebody had probably Jensen killed somebody. There's a speculation, Jensen of all person wouldn't do that. Jensen did it, Jensen didn't do that. And for some reason, there's this videotape that saw me with the instrument, either gun or knife or anything, spear, whatever instrument, stabbing somebody who had been alleged of killing. That would be clear evidence. That would be something that no doubt nobody, even my own child will look and say, oh, my dad did that thing. Right? My daughter will be crying and be sorry that their dad going to jail and all the things, but they'll be saying, hey, sometimes even in the prison, maybe my child came, but daddy, why you did that? The evidence is overwhelming. You did that. And that's what we call best evidence. When the best evidence are produced, like for example, Girl Scout children, right? Say, what? Mommy will be speaking all about you all the time. You see, you didn't do this. But with that video, it's too glaring. You did that. It's a shame for us. Right? So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. When evidence is real, when that physical showing is done, people get convinced. The jurors who probably with some sentiment will say, well, this is too glaring, we can't put eyes on this. That's the time the attention will go on the Charloe Musu. Why did somebody kill her? For what reason? When we tie some of our children, it's hurtful. And I think that's why people are talking, not so much for Gloria, but because of that innocent girl. I say innocent because even if she did something, she needed to go to court, not to be killed. Right? So that's the second thing. The third thing, government has started speaking to the media. Now, when you put out information, some of you think when government put out information, we just keep quiet. I listened to the information minister try to say, well, media must keep quiet. No media should keep quiet on this matter. What the media should not do is cannot in any way present a story that will prejudice the trial. But every media person in Liberia has an obligation to ensure that the government is made to present the best evidence they say they have. For example, there was an issue that the government put out two information a few times. When I read the story the first time, I said, but why is the government start doing this? So when you put out information, the first thing is the pictures that you had of the late Charloe, you send it out and the media publish it. And there are two things that got out of that. The first thing is you provided information that this girl body was found in Girl Scouts bathroom. That's why the government put publicly. Now, let me say, if this is an evidence that the government rely on, why would the government put it in the media? Why? Why did the media? You cannot be on the responsibility to provide clear evidence to the people, and you want to buy public sentiment. And when you put the public sentiment out there and you want Liberians to keep quiet on it, no, it's not going to be some of us. The first thing is when you put that picture up and you said this body, the girl's body was found in Girl Scout bathroom, you create a scenario for people to make analysis of. The media will make analysis of that, right? Or you just, maybe your intent was we put this out there and let the people buy, and then everybody now, you are prejudicing your own case, the government. If you have a reason to think that what you have in your possession is the best evidence you have, why don't you keep your evidence with you? But you throw it out. So you throw it out and people say, the information minister say, oh, you know why you might not talk this thing that we are talking about. You let the thing that the court decide. Oh, really? Why you information minister cannot to speak to your people indoor and tell them, say, look, the fact that you have a case, you don't have to be a lawyer, but it's a simple thing, right? Even with that information, when we analyze it now, then people say, oh, no, you're talking too much in the case is in court and all of this stuff. That's not the issue. The government has thrown that out, that the girl was found in Girl Scout bathroom. Now you're talking to reasonable people, and then people start, dotting the I's and the T, crossing the T's, and start thinking about what the government has said. The girl was found in Girl Scout bathroom. What does that mean? The Girl Scout killed this girl in her bathroom? Or was this girl bleeding and then they took her in the bathroom while they were preparing her to get to the hospital? Why did they take her to the bathroom? Right? So when you want to present a thing, you talk to rational people. Liberians are all listening to this case, and you throw out jabs, what I would call jab, right? Something you just think, we just played around this thing and let's get something, let's get a thing in the different way. You, the chief scribe of justice, you should know better. But you throw that out. Girl was found in Girl Scout bathroom. That's another thing. Another thing you said about, the way the house is built, there's no intruder can go in there. A justice department, a criminal lawyer will be telling me that. You know how criminals enter houses, right? They don't going to tell you, say, the other door is not too good. So I think send a house don't get don't get good door. I will go in there. Or the other house get iron gate, I will not go there. Those two things that you put out, the government, you make us think whether in fact you get the evidence to indict these people. Because the house, you can even plaster the house with, how you call it? You can put it in the bubble, right? Bubble will be something that can destroy quickly. You can put a steel rod all around the house. It's no evidence. It's nothing to talk about. Those are things that you just put in the media, and then someone is asking. I know there are other people who ask, and people don't want to keep discussing this thing. Is the government serious to start putting this kind of information out? What do they want to prove? What are they saying? Right? Now, so you open up another bag, you send information out to the public, you want the public to keep quiet, the public will discuss what you have started to put out there. If it is your evidence, your best evidence, keep it with you. The public don't need your evidence, because the public is not going to make any decision in the case. Those who are going to make decisions are the jurors. You should be concerned about them in the future, maybe months to come. How do you convince them? Not the public. So when you put the stuff out, then we begin to discuss it. Like for example, my own analysis of those two things, I don't know. I guess when I saw it, I said, "Hmm, these people need to do better. They need to think beyond themselves. They need to take the matter serious. Because why? It borders the death of Charloe Musu and the desire of the government to seize the liberty of someone for life. The penalty of murder. I don't think Liberia has a death penalty on murder convict. So life imprisonment is what you're talking about. So why you think Liberia shouldn't be keen about that? So when you're talking things, I must just keep quiet. We want the right thing to be done. Convict those persons you allege they kill on the basis of the strength of your evidence. That will be convincing that these people actually acted and they were the doers of the act. So when you leave the courtroom and start publishing things outside, then you want people not to discuss it. No, that's not how society works. Democracy, the freedom of expression and of speech. There's no abuse in that when people start to discuss what the government, has put outside. That's an important issue here. So people liberty is being their liberty have been seized, and then you are on obligation to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that what you say is true and nothing but the truth. But the evidence you put up there will be convincing. So in fact, the thing you put outside right now, we start thinking, okay, we're still hoping maybe they have the real evidence, they're keeping it with them, they're going to present it to court. Yeah. Cross come of this thing killing again. The best evidence that you, the government yourself, you know what best evidence is. Something that people will see or say, yeah, this one here that's true. We're chatting, somebody says circumstantial evidence can suffice in murder case. I say, well, but don't even say that. In fact, let me not go that route because that would be going too far, right? The other person on our Facebook talk, we talked that and we came to some point that is not something from the say here. But what I'm here to say is that this girl has died. This girl is another human being. And when you start thinking about death in this kind of situation, think about yourself. That's what I always say. If you know it's not good for you, feel the pain of somebody starving you to death. Then you will ask all of the hard questions. Think about it. How did this girl get the pain she suffered before she died? Like all other persons that have died in that country under mysterious circumstances. Think about it. What if it was you or your child or your relative? How do you feel? And that's why people will keep talking. Because it's not about passion, it's not about feeling for Gloria's car. It's about why did this girl leave this world so early? Now people throwing like my friend on APR will say taba into these matters. Throwing a lot of things into it. You gotta be serious. You gotta go to court, you gotta prove your case. Even Gloria's lawyers themselves, they know what to do. If they blown up because of their own negligence, then this woman will be contributing to her lifetime imprisonment. So this is a serious matter. This girl been there now. When the life is over, she's gone. Wherever her spirit is, may it rest in peace. Even her parents, the way the government even start doing those things. There are few things. We can't go deep into these things. But this girl parent came to Monrovia. They spent some long time. Government brought them in. Yeah, government. Why you brought them in? They were not in Monrovia. Whatever the situation is, what part did they have to play with their daughter's death? All of those things were issues now you brought on yourself as a government. That you are under obligation to convince Liberian that what you say is true, is indeed true, and nothing but the truth. And Liberian will see you and say, well, the government has started acting, even though it's late. Not on this guy case, but it's led for many other deaths that are taking place that you did not proceed to court. You know, but we want to. I'm one person say, well, the government tried on the first count to arrest Gloria, whether guilty or not guilty, but to have brought her forward. That's what we started saying from day one. If you think Gloria is a dual power to bring her forth, let she face the law and exonerate herself. Nothing wrong with that. Even though she's sleeping behind bars, but I know one thing she will desire is to prove her innocent. Rather than the speculation, the this, the that, there are a lot of things being said around this case. A lot of things. Some of the speculation say you listen to it, say you just want faint. But it's under the government. The government, the first thing under the kind of serious situation, the government has the statutory obligation, the constitutional obligation to prove that Gloria's cow killed Charloe Musu, Gloria's and others. In fact, you know, this thing we can't go too far in talking about it because this is a case that before court. We can only talk on the surface and allow those who are out there to do what they need to do best. But the charge sheet, if you look at it critically, if I were to sit there and look at the charge sheet, well, I don't know. I don't want to go that far, sir. Let me leave that side with those who are involved in it. All we talked about is this case, there must be free, fair, transparent trial, and that the government must show with certainty that these people that they caught to say they killed these people, that indeed these people actually did the act. Now on the basis of speculation, because we don't see anybody and they do it, we don't think they do anybody can enter the door yet, so they don't want to kill again. Sorry, that's not the reason. You know, that's not the reason. The law, I like the law because the law, if you look at the element of murder, it's so there's no way you can dodge it. You must first show that gross cow acted as a physical thing. There was a torso, there was this and that. You must show that. Second one is, oh yeah, she calculated, she took her intention, that intentional mind. Oh yeah, proof intent. They say, oh, she did this. She purposefully planned it, executed, and then she took, it's just like you want to kill a chicken, right, for Christmas. Like my mom used to do, say, well, okay, we're killing a duck for Christmas. So the plan, she will purposefully set the money aside. Next time, go in the market, go specifically to the place where they send the dog or the chicken or the goat. Use a hard-earned money, buy the dog, bring the dog home, and then call James. James, yes, go ahead and get the dog ready. Tomorrow we're doing that. Or call some of these that my uncle used to do. So he get ready, he want to kill goat for a big day. So he said, okay, you know what? We're eating goat this season. Get a goat, kill it. I used to hate goat scent. You know. So in short, what I'm saying here is the intention, that intent of a person to commit a crime. The obligation of the government to prove that. I'm sure, I don't have no doubt the government, for me, I believe the government has the evidence, right? If they don't have the evidence, they wouldn't bring a case forward. But the fact that they brought a case forward, it means they had the evidence. What is not certain is what they have, whether it is the best evidence. That's where they, the jurors, and the other lawyers will battle in the courtroom. That one, we don't get nothing to say about that. It is up to them. It is they who will prove their case. The other lawyer who will say, no, the one you brought is not correct. The other one, the other one. So that one will get nothing to do with it. So when you say we're not supposed to talk, I want that, yeah, we don't talk nothing about it. Because we're supposed to talk about the public there are plenty of questions we'll ask you. Right? So these are the things that we're watching out for. And it's not just Girl Scout, it's not just those persons or women. It's about Liberia's state of affairs. There's so much going on in our country. When you think about it, you wonder how Liberia's going to be. There's a lot of things that are going on in the country. And when you think about it, sometimes you don't get, an immediate answer, or you don't get a thought that can help you to reach analysis, to make analysis and reach a conclusion. Like since this guy died, every day that different speculation, different thing. This person will say, in fact, from day one. So, as I heard they say about the vice presidential candidate to Joseph Boakai is calling out Jerome Vodio to present his evidence. So I say, like, bro, I plenty things inside. Mm-hmm. So a representative who should not be, you are in a different branch of government, Upon you just a representative, right? A senator, so to speak. You are a senator of a branch of government that should not interfere in the working of another branch of government. A simple constitutional issue. Then you ask a citizen to present evidence. To who? To you? You want to open your court in the legislature? Why are you doing? Other people sat down in a place before this case went to court. It was your obligation, government officials, representative. You would have had let's say, a committee hearing, and the judicial committee would have had some form of investigation. And maybe you yourself would have even given reason why to challenge the justice ministry to move forward. You know what did it? You sat in that place there, running after money every day. The case going to court now, then you writing letter, or you say, well, Jerome for them, I can show evidence to who? To you? Or to the speaker, president pro tempore, vice president of the Senate, and everybody. You're not serious. You better be serious on what you're doing in that country. The case going to court. Then it's not about you as a president. You are not an ordinary person like Jensen sitting there talking. If I was a representative or senator, you can trust me. I would have raised that issue the very day. Especially say that lady was in my constituency. The Maryland people say now they're quiet. Even a Groescal acted the way, let's assume Groescal, in fact, right now Groescal is innocent until found guilty, right? So those caucus, the Maryland senators are representing the caucus of Maryland County. Or you represent not just Groescal, but I look good at that, the parents, and all of the citizens of that county. So when something happened to one, you should have an immediate way of having your voices heard. It doesn't mean you're going to tell Groescal, oh, you did it. That's not what it means. There are statements that you make. You issue statements. The legislative caucus of Maryland County, what have you said about the death of this guy, or the arrest and the trial of Groescal? Or you don't know what to say, how to make an independent statement that will not signal that, oh, you're supporting government or you're supporting this person? The way we're talking, then we're telling somebody, say we support Groescal or we don't support Groescal. That's what we're saying. You as senators could say, well, we want a free, fair trial for our citizens. If and only if she's found guilty, let the weight of the law prevail. If she's not found guilty, let her be set free. We want free, fair, transparent trial. You may lend us. Just sit down over there acting like you don't know what to do. But one Nima County senator say they must send, Jerome Vodio must send evidence to him. It makes no sense. You are in different branch of government. This case is going to court. Anything. Suppose Vodio presented evidence to you. What will you do with it? If Vodio came out and said, okay, you know what, I spoke on this matter earlier, and I'm sending before you a videotape of my discussions, of my pieces of evidence. I have done some investigation. These are the pieces of evidence. What will you do with it? Legislator, you put it on the floor of the House or the Senate, rather, for you to do what? To discuss it and say what? So you'll be having your own court at the Capitol building, and then the judiciary be having your own trial. Some of the little things that should even think twice before you even come public. True, right? When you think about it, oh no, I think I shouldn't have done this. But yeah, the Constitution says there are separate branches of government. The balance of power. That's the foundational issue that any of you are supposed to know before you even become senator or representative. That when I go on this, I'll be checking on the judiciary and the executive branch of government. That's what makes you or make the government unique. That's what makes the people of Liberia to think serious about themselves. I get in something that happened to Africa. I don't know why. So I can say that while some things that can happen, I can say that I think twice about it. And let me just throw this one. I'm not talking about Gloria. I listened to African leaders recently where, right, they went to Ukraine and went to see Putin. For what? They say they must stop the war because of grains. I put in my own word. I'm talking about that. The primary thing they said. The world is suffering, the war condemn the world will keep suffering. You know the first thing that came to my mind? You get a very rich resources, African people. You get abundance of resources. You have no idea to produce and supply the world. Ukrainian citizens are dying because somebody encroached on their land. Then you're moving in and talking about grains. You must stop the war because the war are suffering. Are you kidding me? In Somalia, you can stop the war in Somalia. No, different than let me leave that other one because I don't want to mix this whole stuff up, right? And I'm very deliberate. I throw that in because African leaders, man. African leaders. We'll discuss that later. Okay, so that's the crux of my discussion for today, and I felt that there's nothing important in this world than to have life. There's nothing important in this world than to have life. When the life is gone, you're done. Done. Like Charloe Musu, whatever they do, she's gone. He also rest in peace. Charlotte is gone. She's never going to come in this world again. Her parents just going to grieve the rest of their life. And that's what hurt. And that's the primary reason why a government is set up to protect life and property. The time Gloria told the government, say there are continuous movement in my area, probably the government would have acted. Now, I can say product, but these are public information, right? Probably the government, this what happened to that little girl wouldn't have happened. Probably. I'm not saying it with certainty. Probably that wouldn't have happened. So at this time, we that get children, the moment I hear somebody's child is treated in that form and manner, trust me, it goes deep down in me. I feel it. You know? But nothing can do. She's there. She's gone. So all you need to do now is to set an example for others not to repeat what has happened to that girl. That girl was progressive. I didn't know her for anybody. I don't know her. I've not seen her in my lifetime. Maybe I've seen her by some accident, whatever. Because myself in Maria, they're going up and down. Broadfield, those are my terrain. Right? So these are the issues that bother, that should always trouble the minds of people. When things happen, you don't wait. The different branches of government, it doesn't matter. That's why you have standing committees, statutory committees in those different the two branches of government, so that you can act swiftly, fast, and kill some of these things. You know, the girl is dead. She's gone. She's nobody going to see her anymore. Her spirit left her the moment she was starved under multiple times. Her spirit left her. Nobody can replace it. She was one of her only kind. You stop her from living. No matter what they gave the parent money, they're never ever going to be pleased. They will grieve until they too will leave this world. And that's the concern for all of us. When we are our brother's keepers, society can be better. you know. So that's what I have to say. We'll keep discussing. We'll bring in some legal minds here who will discuss this matter, hopefully Friday, and not to discuss the merit of this matter, but sometimes Liberians need to know what are the things that happen in a courtroom. And someone calling you lawyers too. Don't say, "Oh, this case isn't go." We know what it means. The merit of the case is not for you and myself. Those lawyers who are involved in the case, it is for them. But there's nothing wrong. For example, if you ask a Liberian um, which court is murder trial in, many Liberians wouldn't know that, right? So, like for example, if you said, how you call it, or who's going to make a decision, the jury, right? So people might be around to explain these kind of situations so that Liberian can understand and be able to, even the argument people having over it, they can have an informed mind as to how they can proceed in discussing some of these things. And that's what we talk about, not necessarily wanting to get involved in discussing issues to prejudice a case. No, 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 that's not our intention. We want the parties to be given, you know, a free, fair opportunity to prove their case. Right. So until then, this is where we want to draw the curtain and hope that will be another time to discuss the issue. But Gloria's case, we keep following that. It's hurtful, and nobody should die in that form and manner. Should be killed, not die, kill. Although that dying, now somebody dying and somebody being killed, two different things, right? Yeah. So we want to stop here and say it was good to join us, and it was a pleasure. Share the video. Those of you who are following, we wanted to always be concerned for issues of this nature. So we are pleased to keep. I have life, and I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for all of you guys too. Let's keep discussing the issue that matter to all of us. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and this is James Chancey in the African Actions Network. We are here to discuss the issues that matter to not only you, but to me and the rest of the world. Thank you, and have a pleasant and a wonderful day. Bye for now.